Welcome to another episode of Why Real Estate. I'm excited for our visitor today. We've got Wade Erickson, the owner and operator of Easy Mobile Storage. I am a big fan. I use Easy Mobile Storage, as a matter of fact, on listings, and we've got one down in Springville right now. I've got a client with one of his storage units dropped off in their driveway as they're finishing their basement, which will help them get a lot more money for the sale of their home. As they add a couple more bedrooms and more square footage, looking at comparables, it was a smart thing for them to do, and easy peasy. Wade dropped that thing right in there. They clean out their house, and now the contractor's going to work. Tell us about Easy Mobile Storage, Wade.
So we are a mobile storage business, and if you don't know what that is, the best way to explain it is everybody kind of knows what pods is, and the boxes that are delivered to people's homes or place of business. Mobile storage is all about convenience and affordability. So we help people with several different things. First of all, moving. So we drop off a pod to their home, they fill it up, we move it to their new home. We can store it for them in between. We drop them off for a lot of home projects as well. So somebody's remodeling, if they're doing a garage project, if they're decluttering. I mean, there's so many different uses for these storage containers. And so
we bought a house 3 years ago and remodeled it and moved into it. Mm-hmm. Looking back, we might have just stayed in our same house had I realized I could have called you for one of your units to drop off at that house.
Right.
Cleaned it all out because my wife didn't want to live through it, a remodel. Very difficult. And had we had one or two of those, outside our house, it would have cleaned up so nice. I mean, that's just one way, right? If you're going to remodel, you go down the list, doing your garage, the epoxy on your garage floor is another reason, right?
It's a big use for it, for sure.
Huge use. What other things come to mind that people use them for?
So the number one use is probably moving, people who are moving locally, and that's what we help people here in Utah with. And then number two is for renovation projects. Any type, you mentioned epoxy garage floors, that's a huge thing. A lot of people are doing that. The reality is we all have a lot of stuff, and we've got to store that stuff somewhere, and we generally just don't have enough space in our homes. And so this is a very convenient way to manage your stuff if you have some type of project going on within your home. So we drop it off. A lot of people put it in an RV spot. Sometimes if it's short term, they'll put it right in front of the house. They can get the stuff out to get the epoxy floor done, to get the renovation done, to finish the basement, like your friend that's using the one now, to finish the basement. There's all sorts of uses, but those are the main ones, is any type of home project renovation or local moving is how we've been helping people.
So from a value add standpoint with real estate, when somebody is looking to sell their home, the one thing that stands out to me on it is I go in and I see we got the 3 Ds, depersonalize, declutter, and deep clean, right? This completely helps accomplish that. So from a value add for a homeowner that's trying to sell, it is huge. And it's tidy. People, when you come look at your house and you've got that pot out there and it has stuff in it, it's nice and tidy and closed off, right? And then something Wade does that I love is they allow me to put a banner on it, so it gets marketing and promotion for my business, right there, and a value add that I can give to customers as well. That's for sellers. Well, then you bring in a buyer that needs to move. A lot of times they're selling their own property, but a lot of times there's dates where possession doesn't line up and they need a spot to keep it, in those mobile units. And as a buyer, let's say they want to first, when the seller's out of the house, they drop that pod there, they go in, they do a deep clean, they do some remodeling before they actually move in, and they've got all their possessions in that pod. And then when it's time for them to unload that, it just eases things for a lot of buyers as well. And I highly recommend considering using Easy Mobile Storage to do that.
First of all, mobile storage is kind of a new thing. It's actually only invented about 20 years ago. Nobody used more mobile storage until then, and it's kind of catching on. People that have used it, they'll only use it for moving, especially if they're moving somewhere local, because it's such an easy and convenient thing to do. So we replace self-storage, and we also replace moving trucks. And moving trucks are expensive, and you're renting them by the hour. And self-storage is really designed for long-term storage. Like if you go to a self-storage facility and try to get one, and first of all, good luck even getting one in Utah. A lot of these places are just full and they're expensive. Matter of fact, I was looking today at a local self-storage facility, and you have to pay for 4 months up front for that self-storage facility. They have a gap between the home they're moving out of and their home they're going to move into. Say it's 2 weeks or a month or even 2 months. That becomes very expensive. It becomes very impractical to move into the local self-storage facility, where they can call us, we deliver it, they fill it up, then we take it to our storage facility and hold it for them in a secured storage yard. And then when they're ready, we just take it right to their home. People love that. And we get calls all the time where they're like, hey, I'm just pricing it out. I want to see what's best. Everybody's on a budget. We get that. And so they're pricing out us between getting a storage truck, getting a local self-storage unit, and then doing that twice, because that's what you've got to do. And we are always the cheapest when it comes to that type of situation. So if you're looking for like temporary storage, it's kind of unbeatable, and it's so convenient and easy. The other thing I'll mention, Layne, is have you ever moved a couch into a big loading truck?
It's a pain.
Going up the ramp,
yeah.
up the ramp. It's kind of dangerous, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I know several people that have fallen off those ramps and hurt themselves pretty bad, where these boxes are at ground level, so you're not going to hurt yourself. You're not going to fall off the ramp, and it's just a lot easier on your body to move stuff into these and to move stuff out of it. And again, you only have to move once versus twice if you're using self-storage. The other comparison we get is with full-service movers. Now, if you have the money and you want to spend the money to do a full-service moving, great, do it. You can't beat that when it comes to moving. But if you're a do-it-yourself mover, this is hard to beat, because we can drop it off. You can go through your home. You can, do your DI runs and everything like that. Take your time, put your stuff in the pod, and then we'll move it for you. And it's just going to be a lot cheaper to do that and a lot more convenient at the same time.
Wade, thank you. Awesome. Easy mobile storage. Thanks for coming in today.
You're welcome.
We'll get this out, and couldn't recommend it highly enough.
Oh, thanks, Layne. Appreciate being on your show. It's great.